Hey guys, welcome to another park battle. This is of the top two parks that I've been to. I'm going to be comparing Carowinds against HersheyPark, or HersheyPark against Carowinds, whatever you want to say. So I'm going to compare these two parks. I have a series of categories, and here they are. So how this is going to work is that each category is worth a different amount of points. So, for instance, like the best coasters in the park are worth 3 points. Major coasters worth 2, and like the coasters will be worth more than, like, for instance, shows, appearance, fan rides, like so and so. So, without further ado, let's get started with our first category, the inverted roller coasters, because each park has an inverted roller coaster built by B&M. This is between Afterburn and Great Bear, and this is no contest. Afterburn is going to take this category here. It's going to take the points. Great Bear is really cool as well. Great Bear, I love how it uses the terrain to its advantage, and it's also, like, I feel like it's a more unique B&M invert. It's nothing like, it's like much better than the Batman clothes and stuff like that. And I feel like some people do overlook Great Bear, but I mean, Afterburn is just a straight up better ride, so I'm gonna have to give the 2 points to Afterburn for this one. Next, let's move on to some kiddie coasters. We'll just run against Coco Cruiser, and Coco Cruiser is definitely more appealing, so even though I didn't ride Coco Cruiser, I'm still going to give the half point to HersheyPark, because Wilderness Run is just a very, very mild kiddie coaster. I know some people are actually big fans of Zamperla gravity coasters, so let's move on to our next category, which is Mine Trains. This is the Carolina Gold Rusher versus Trailblazer, and Carolina Gold Rusher is definitely the longer ride here, so I'm going to give the point to Carolina Gold Rusher. Next up are some wooden roller coasters, Hurler and Wildcat. Wildcat's definitely a little rougher than Hurler is. Hurler's actually decently smooth for a wooden coaster. Wildcat is kind of rough. However, Wildcat has air time. I've ridden both of these roller coasters. Hurler has no air time. The layout for Hurler is kind of bland. So I'm going to definitely give the point to Wildcat here. Wildcat's actually a good ride. I know some people probably prefer Hurler, but I mean, I feel like Wildcat has a much stronger layout. I do enjoy Wildcat's turns, and I also do enjoy its airtime as well. Let's move on to the Vekoma Boomerangs. This is the Flying Cobras versus Sidewinder. And both are basically the exact same rides with the same restraints, believe it or not. The only difference between these rides are the color schemes, but that won't really make a difference on these rides, so I'm just going to simply give both parks a point for having these coasters. Let's move on to some classic looping coasters. The Carolina Cyclone versus Super Duper Looper. An Aero Custom Looper versus a Schwarzkopf terrain coaster. Can anyone guess which one would be better? Yeah, Super Duper Looper definitely dominates this category. Carolina Cyclone is a decent ride, I have to admit, but it can be kind of on the rough side. I've ridden both of these coasters more than once, and Carolina Cyclone, when I rode it, I got some headbanging on this. I mean, I understand Super Duper Looper just has lap bars, but I mean, I love terrain coasters, and Super Duper Looper is the definition of an amazing terrain coaster. So I'm going to give the point to Super Duper Looper for this category. Let's move on to some classic wooden coasters. The Woodstock Express versus Comet. I know this is a bit of an odd matchup because I'm comparing a kiddie coaster against a more classic, like, larger wave coaster, but I mean, they're still kind of similar. So I'm comparing both of these, and I'm going to give the point to Comet, again, just because it's larger. I also found Comet to be a bit smoother than Woodstock Express. So let's move on to our next category, which is Wild Mouses. This is Ricochet and Wild Mouse, and both are basically the same ride. The only difference is the name and color scheme, whatever. So I'm just going to give both of them a point, like the Boomerangs. Which leaves us to our final coaster matchup. The Hyper Coasters worth 3 points. Intimidator and Skyrush. And I've ridden both of these coasters, and Intimidator doesn't stand a chance against Skyrush. Skyrush was just unbelievable. Intimidator is definitely the longer ride here, but Skyrush dominates this category for just its insane airtime and ridiculous intensity. So let's move on to the extra coasters. So even though these coasters are nothing like HersheyPark's coasters, I'm still going to give each of these coasters credit for Carowinds credit for having these coasters. So Fury 325 will be gaining 3 points because it's simply the best one in the park and it's my favorite coaster of all time. And Vortex will receive 1 point. Same with Nighthawk and Kitty Hawk. And HersheyPark does have some extra coasters as well. They're nothing like Carowinds' roller coasters. So Stormrunner will be receiving 3 points, Fahrenheit 2 points, Lightning Racer 2 points, and Laugh Track will receive 1 point. So now we're done with the roller coasters. Let's move on to Drop Towers. The Drop Tower versus Hershey's Triple Drop Tower. Now, I kind of had a bad ride on the Drop Tower at Carowinds, I have to admit. It was kind of on the painful side during that landing, probably because I sat the wrong way. If I ever go back to Carowinds, I'll definitely want to ride it again. But even then, even if I did get a good ride on it, I'll still prefer the Hershey's Triple Drop Tower because it doesn't only have one tower, but it has 3 towers in one ride. I only did the Hershey Tower. I didn't get to do the Reese's or Kisses Tower. But I mean, they're different levels of intensity. I feel like it's very unique. So I'm definitely giving HersheyPark the 2 points for having Hershey's Triple Tower. Let's move on to some thrill rides. This is about the variety of thrill rides and which thrill rides are fun. So how many thrill rides each park has. So Carowinds has more thrill rides. I believe Carowinds has more thrill rides. HersheyPark doesn't have too many thrill rides. I mean, they have other than the Drop Tower and stuff. The really only ride I can really think of the top of my head that's thrilling, that's only a flat ride or something, would be the Claw. That's really the only ride I could think. So I'm just gonna give Carowinds a point. Carowinds has you can see in here that they have an Enterprise and they have a Windseeker, which is really nice. And they also, let's see, what else have they got? I don't know, maybe a whole bunch of rides in the County Fair section. So yeah, Carowinds definitely has more thrill rides than HersheyPark does, so Carowinds will be taking the 2 points. I know I said 1 point, but I mean 2 points. Let's move on to the family rides. And Carowinds definitely does have a lot of family rides, I will say that, but HersheyPark even has a ride outside of the park that's for the families, and it's free. I'm talking the Hershey's Chocolate Tour Dark Ride. It's a ride where you learn how chocolate is made. When I went, that's the first thing I did, and it is a great start to your day. And plus, at the end, you get free chocolate. But even then, HersheyPark has so many family rides. They even have 2 water rides. A Tile Force, which I did not get to ride that because I did not want to get absolutely crazy soaked. And they also have the Coal Cracker Log Flume ride, which I got to do that, and that was fun. And they even have more family rides. They've got bumper cars, and they have so many other great family rides. They even have the Reese's Extreme Cup Challenge, which as when this video is uploaded and filming, that ride is still operating, but that ride is supposed to close on September 3rd. So if you're watching this and you're in HersheyPark, or in the Hershey, Pennsylvania area, you should probably go down to HersheyPark if you want to get your last rides on the Reese's Extreme Cup Challenge before it's removed. I thought that was a bit of an odd dark ride. But I'll explain that more once I review HersheyPark in general. But even then, HersheyPark has tons of more family rides than Carowinds does. And the Shooting Dark ride at Carowinds, I was so disappointed with, which is their Boo Blasters on Boo Hill ride. I just didn't think that one was that good. So I'm going to give HersheyPark the point here. Let's move on to food, though. And honestly, I was kind of underwhelmed with HersheyPark's food. I mean, HersheyPark's food was good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. I mean, that's probably part of the reason why was because I didn't have time to get any good desserts at HersheyPark. I know they have milkshakes and stuff, and I'll give them credit for that. But next time I go to HersheyPark, I'll definitely try to dig into some desserts when I go. But Carowinds, I was so impressed with Carowinds' food. Probably some of the best park food I have ever eaten in my life. It's so good. So I'm going to give the 2 points to Carowinds. Next, let's move on to theming. And Carowinds definitely will take the points here because Carowinds has some themed areas. They got County Fair, Camp Snoopy, and tons of other areas. And I don't recall any themed areas at HersheyPark. I mean, they kind of have the Hollow, Midway America, Pioneer Frontier, but I just don't see like the theme at Hershey Park. And you think all the rides would be themed to chocolate, but it's not. It's not. So let's move on to the shows. I don't recall any shows at Carowinds. However, I do recall shows at Hershey Park. Like I'm talking about that sea lion show, so I'm gonna give Hershey Park the points for the shows. I have heard that sea lion show is kind of cheesy, kind of like a knockoff SeaWorld, but I mean, it's there, so I'm gonna give Hershey Park a point. Let's move on to park appearance, and I'm going to give it to Hershey Park, and here's why. Hershey Park uses the terrain to its advantage, and it is simply one of the most beautiful parks I have ever been to. It is really beautiful. Carowinds is kind of out on a field. Well, not really out on a field. I mean, for a park that's flat, Carowinds is actually really beautiful, I have to admit. So it can go either way, but I'm just going to give Hershey Park the points here. So now let's move on to our last category, which is the price. And this is a very tough one because they're so close to each other. So it's only a $1 difference. A ticket for Carowinds for one day is $67, and a day ticket for Hershey Park is $68. So it can really go either way because I mean it's only a $1 difference, so it's nothing really like different at all. So, but I'm still gonna give Carowinds a point for being cheaper. So we do have a winner for this park battle, and taking the winning spot is Hershey Park in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Congratulations, you have defeated Carowinds. I think both parks are absolutely fantastic. Both have some incredible roller coasters, a lot of rides, and just a lot of things to do in general. But Hershey Park definitely is the better park of the two. And I will agree, I think Hershey Park might be my favorite amusement park I've been to. Spoiler alert. But yeah, one day I'll like sometime around this month I'll post my top 10 parks, and you'll see. Anyhow, that will do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more videos in the future and more park battles, and comment down below which park do you prefer. Also, don't forget to check out the social media link, which will be in the description below. I've been posting my top 25 roller coasters day by day before I post my top 25 roller coasters video on National Roller Coaster Day. I'll see you guys next time. Have a theme-tacular day.